welcome to Take 5, where we take about 5 minutes and talk about some spiritual things, usually coming from the scriptures and usually applying to 21st century life. At least I hope so. New series we're starting today, and you're ready for an odd title, but I'm going to explain it to you. Here's the title of the series. You probably saw it as it came on. Aurelius, Peterson, Solomon, Jesus. Huh? Marcus Aurelius, Jordan Peterson, King Solomon, and the Lord Jesus Christ. What do those four have in common? Well, I'll tell you. I've been sort of intrigued lately. People are in an interesting place right now, in the sense that they're looking for a reference point. So many people, Christian people and non-Christian people, are looking for a bit of wisdom, a bit of virtue, a bit of advice. And here's the thing I find. They are often today going to what are known as the Stoics. The Stoics are an ancient philosophy of living that has to do a lot with virtue and the other and courage and responsibility. And I find that interesting that we live in a day that, at least in the unchurched world, where Christianity is on the margins. And yet people are looking for some good common sense advice. And Christians as well. I have a good friend who loves to read the Stoics. I read it a little bit as well. So I want to probe that. Marcus Aurelius, he was what? He was a 2nd century Roman emperor. Did you know that? But he was also a Stoic philosopher. People love to read the quotes of Marcus Aurelius. I see it on my Instagram all the time. Jordan Peterson is really popular nowadays. He's a Canadian psychologist, speaker, writer who, in a sense, with very common sense, he tells it like it is. And I sort of like Jordan Peterson, not that he cares if I like him or not. What I'll say about Peterson and Aurelius and all the Stoics, they do have some wise things to say, but they're always going to come a little bit short. And at least from my perspective, from my biblical Christian perspective, but we'll get to that. So Jordan Peterson, a lot of people love to listen to him. He's common sense. He looks at the problems of the day and just talks right into them. Or you might have somebody like a Ryan Holiday, who literally is a 21st century Stoic writer, or somebody like Joe Reagan. All of these writers, thinkers have, in a sense, Stoicism in common. Issues like courage, virtue, responsibility, looking out for the other. In a sense, common sense wisdom for today's living. Now, I find that fascinating, and what I'm doing is, because I think that seems to be a real interest today, using Aurelius and Peterson and even Holiday as almost a platform to say, okay, there's an appetite for this wisdom. I want to take that appetite and launch into a little bit, I would say even deeper or more spiritual of a wisdom from Solomon and eventually to Jesus. Does it sound good? One of the things, here's a quote from Peterson wrote a book called 12 Rules. And he says something interesting about life being a path or a way. And I want you to hear Peterson's words. He says, because it's all about meaning and the way of meaning. Meaning is the way. Meaning of life. Meaning is the way. The path of life more abundant. This is Jordan Peterson. The place you live when you are guided by love and speaking the truth. There's a lot of good in that. Meaning is the way, the path of life more abundant. The place you live when you are guided by love and speaking the truth. People are hearing that and they're resonating with that. I want to take that as a premise to say the wisdom of Solomon in Proverbs, and eventually the wisdom of Christ in his very life and the life he gives. In a sense, you can use that as a reference point and launch from that. I'll give you a couple of words from Solomon, and then we'll continue on next time. Here's Solomon regarding that wise path that, in a sense, Peterson tries to allude to. Solomon, Proverbs chapter 4. He says, "Listen, my son, accept my words, and you will live many years. I am teaching you the way of wisdom. I am guiding you on straight paths. So when you walk, your steps will not be hindered. When you run, you will not stumble. Hold on to instructions and don't let go. Guard it, for it is your life." We're going to continue with Aurelius, Peterson, Solomon, Jesus. Further than that, we're going to talk about the way of wisdom in the next several Take Fives. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.